Texas. Okay.
Welcome back, everybody. Blind Sample Showdown, week number, what week are we on, guys? 3? Yeah, week 3. Round 1, week 3. We had, for those of you expecting to see John the Dram Daddy and Joe, Smoked by Ash, there was a small snafu in their scheduling, and we had to do a last-minute change. So Bobby and Zach said they were cool with switching, so we got everything switched up. John and Joe will be next week, so that worked out fairly easy. Gentlemen,
Cool,
how we doing?
Good.
We are doing well, other than electrical tape around the tops of these bottles. There we go.
And what's funny, while I was packing those up, the end of it kept coming off and being flopping around. So I'm like, what is going on with this tape? But
there we go. Okay.
We got some people in the chat already.
Cool,
Yeah,
man.
Joe's Whiskey Den.
I'm watching. I seen Stacy from 4 Weeks and Franco and Kitty.
I actually logged in via my computer so that I could watch the comments. I could actually respond to comments via my phone.
There you go. Cool.
So that's what was taking me a little. That was what I was a little bit late.
No worries.
Luckily,
I was ill prepared as well, so I didn't have my sheets ready. I didn't have the info on the samples ready. I didn't have none of that ready. So anyways, who else we got here? We got Whiskey Addict Mike is in the house. Whiskey Franco is here. How you doing, buddy? Bobby's here. That's good. I'm glad he's here. We got a Spicy Strawberry. How you doing, Spice? We got Caesar. Caesar, this question came up last weekend. Is it Des bourbons or D's bourbons, like D's nuts? Brian F in the house. How you doing, buddy? Patricia. Hi, Patty.
Guys,
Adrian Shine is here. Hey,
I forgot to write something. I forgot to grab a little pad and a piece of paper so I can keep this stuff straight. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back.
You got a minute. Go ahead. Battalion Cigar Club, Chris. How you doing? And yeah, we'll talk about that here in a minute. 4 Leaf Whiskey. Hi, Stacy. Sugar Kitty in the house. How you doing, Sugar Kitty? And Joe is not invited, so he's not here. No, Joe is the one that had something going on. So
yeah,
all good. He told me last night, so the 4 of us came together, or the 5 of us came together and got it figured out.
Someone was up really late last night.
And yeah, Spicy, the beard is still with us. Hey, Donald, how you doing, buddy? So right before, or right at the time of leaving work today, I said, I'm going to go home, cut my hair, try to trim my beard. And I said, so if you join the stream and the beard is gone, you'll know what happened. I am not good at trimming my facial hair. I'm not good at it. I just usually just let it go. But I know if I don't trim it, it kind of stops growing and it gets wild and goes all over the place. So yeah, the beard is still with us. I was able to get it good, and hopefully it keeps growing now. So. Yeah, right. Joe, who never has things to do, all of a sudden has things to do. For those of you in the chat, I'm drinking water out of a Glencairn. And that is a joke, by the way. That is not water. That is actually whiskey. It is also 10-year-old whiskey. So for those of you that judge whiskey by color, that means it's really good when it doesn't have color. Oh, we lost Zach.
I hear you.
Joe is no longer invited to anything. Wow. Was he ever invited in the first place?
That's right.
Hashtag not invited. So, well, while we're waiting for Zach to come back, oh, I got a private. Zach's headphones giving him.
It sounded like it earlier. I heard that.
Bobby wins by default. Zach left. So I had mentioned this earlier when I was going through the roll call. Battalion Cigar Club or Battalion Cigar Chris is in the chat, obviously. This is cool. Bobby and Zach both part of Battalion Cigars. So Bob, while we have a few minutes, go ahead and talk about Battalion Cigars. How they doing?
Yeah, so doing well
so far.
Yeah, so far so good. You know, the thought was is we knew that, you know, it's a slow grow, you know, take your time. We're, you know, all self-financed. So the idea is to make sure that, you know, with the downturn economy or upticks or whatever, that we're able to sustain. So yeah, everything's going good. You know, we see growth every week. We have 2 sticks out. The clusterfuck is growing, which is our private group. The private group is a buy-in. It's a year we buy in. And a lot of stuff to go in that. You have starter packs to come with it. There will be merch and cigars just for the clusterfuck. There'll be some really cool things that we have going on with it that we've been working on. Eventually, there'll be barrel picks within the group that'll be for clusterfuck members only.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. We have our next 4 blends completed.
These are currently available too.
It's just a matter of taking our time to slow release because you don't want to overbuy and roll out without, you know, until you start seeing, you know, a bigger uptick, you know. So yeah, things are going well and things are climbing well. So I'm happy. I think we're exactly where we thought we'd be at this point.
Cool. So I had the pleasure of having the Uncommon Valor.
Mm-hmm.
Great cigar. I was this is going to sound weird. I was surprised by it, and not by quality or construction or anything like that or flavors.
Yeah,
those I knew were going to be good. I mean, BAMF Cigars, you guys, I knew the cigar was going to be good, tasty, well made. But I was surprised because it was not as strong as I was kind of thinking it was before I started it.
right.
And it was a super enjoyable stick all the way through, and it never. You know, some cigars you start out pretty mild or medium, and then they get a little bit stronger as you go through. This one kind of was pretty even all the way through. There was a little spike in the middle, but it came back down to being about the same as it was when it started. And I thoroughly enjoyed that stick.
Yeah, so it was a medium bodied, full flavored, kind of medium full thought process. It's more of like what you would look at a premier stick, you know, when you look at a premium stick. That it's really approachable by everybody, but has a lot of unique flavors. It's really approachable. So that was the thought process when it was constructed. You know, that one is an Arapodaca. It's a Brazilian wrapper. So you get into those kind of things. You start getting into a little bit of that, a little bit of the spice that was the undertones was in the filler.
Okay.
So, you know, there was a little bit of some San Andreas blend in that filler. But then, Brazilian Dominican. Now, the ton is a totally different beast. Yeah, the ton is a totally different beast. It's a San Andreas Dominican Cubano blend.
There you go.
Here you go. Here's one of our favorite things about this label. Well,
Oh, that's so cool, actually.
That's
really cool.
You can push the eagle's wings out. So
yeah.
Excellent.
Great cigar. Now this one is a little bit stronger.
Yeah, this is a full-bodied, full-flavored cigar.
Okay. All right. Excellent. moderator in the chat. Who do we got? We got Franco and Sugar Kitty. What's the website, Bobby? Go ahead and moderate.
BattalionCigars.com.
BattalionCigars.com, just like your name implies.
Yep.
Perfect. And you guys got some cool merch too. The t-shirts are pretty cool looking.
And there's more and more being created and stuff like that. You know, the clusterfuck stuff is where we can have some fun. You know, I mean, that's the reality there. There's some really fun projects going to be a part of that. So, yeah, looking forward to that and everything goes along with it.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get this going. We got I know you two guys don't agree with me, but we got a grudge match going on here. Season number 1. Zach made it through the first round. Bobby made it through the first round, and they went up against each other in round 2.
Yeah.
Bobby did move on from that. So are we going to have the same outcome, or is Zach going to get his revenge here? So
gotcha.
Let's see what happens.
All that stuff.
There is no revenge.
No.
Italian Cigars wins tonight either way.
Yeah. So Chris put in there that we're 12 followers away from 500 on Insta.
If you guys are not following Battalion Cigars on Instagram, do so. I'd love to be streaming this on Instagram right now, but Instagram is not playing nice. So we are still working on that issue. But I'm thinking about making an Instagram post and just calling them out, tagging Meta, tagging Instagram, all that, and see if that does anything for me.
They may just delete.
Yeah, right.
And you never know. Well,
we supposed to start with this.
Start with sample number 1, and let's get into it. Thank you, Martin. Appreciate you. And I never said what I was drinking. I held up the glass for the color of it, but I'm drinking an independent bottler from Clan Denny, which I've never heard of. But I walked into the store and they had this. It was like $20, and it is a 10-year-old Krigality.
Oh,
and
okay.
It is in a fully matured for 10 years in a refill hogshead. So I saw the color on this and I was immediately intrigued because the lack of color. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, that hogshead had been used in a
well used.
So it should still have a little bit of, even at 10 years old, it should still have a little bit of youthfulness still to it.
There is. It's this. I just opened it tonight when we were jumping on here, and it is definitely a little more grainy than the 13 is.
Well, is the 13's not all ex-bourbon though, is it?
I am not sure. Patty's having 2 strawberry agua fresca. Another contestant looking at the list. I like it.
What?
So I sent out my entire open.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And some people want to look at it. Some people don't want to look at it. And everybody's got the same opportunity. So if you don't want to, you don't.
Yeah. Nah. Okay.
How you liking that one, Caesar? I tried that one the other night. Hopefully several kamikazes spice. And Whiskey Addict, what is happening to you? I like it, but what is happening to you? Sipping on an Indian single malt.
Oh, nice.
Amroot, Paul John, Indri?
Cavalon.
No, Cavalon is Taiwan.
Oh, that's right. Cavalon's Taiwan. Yeah.
So Indri, Paul John, Amroot.
Yeah. I always say
there's another one. What is it? Goa, maybe? Is it Goa?
Yeah.
Indri. Nice. That's a good one. I tried that one the other night, Caesar, and it was good. I'm not going to say it wasn't good. I got kind of a green sappy wood note out of it. That turns me off a little bit, but I don't know what the price point is on it. Maybe it's super cheap. But generally speaking, something like what K-Luke is not cheap. We got Chris is enjoying the Uncommon Valor for tonight.
Nice.
Oh.
And let's see. Tomorrow. Oh boy. It's gonna get feral on here tomorrow. We got the Whiskey Franco on tomorrow. And Dylan from US Small Craft. Tasting notes, gents. Do you have any for the crowd?
No.
We're not giving it away. We're not. Listen. Number one, we're gonna write stuff down, and we're gonna go with our gut, and then we're not gonna change our mind, regardless of.
Right.
It wouldn't matter.
Now this first one's weird.
It's youthful.
Youthful and weird so far, the tasting notes. Whiskey Deek. Excellent point. So this Clondeni I got for like $20. Is that right? It was $20 or was it $25 or whatever? But yes, that was at Richard's, which is a coincidence. But he says this is another reason why Richard's is a great store, and they are a great store. Also, our sponsor for the show.
I got something, and now I'm.
Follow them on Instagram. Follow them on Facebook. Include them in all your Wisconsin travel plans, even if you're not traveling to Wisconsin. Make a U-turn, go to Wisconsin, hit Richard's, then go continue on to where you were going. Excellent store.
All right.
I don't really have any more than that to say about it. I mean, it's a fantastic store. So, Zach's thrown in the towel already, or what do we got?
We are where we are.
Zach sounds like he's ready.
I'm almost there.
All right.
Bobby said it was weird. I went back and I was like, oh, I don't have enough in the glass.
Appreciate the segue, Deke.
Well, okay, everybody gives notes. And then what we've seen in the past challenges is they're all changing their answers based upon what the other person says. So you can play this one of two ways. You can give what you're talking about out there, right? Or you can play a little closer to the chest.
Yeah.
Bobby and I typically play it a little closer to the chest.
So I love the comment that, you know, there's no grudge match here. We're just here to have fun and everybody's a winner and la la la. They don't want to share with. they're keeping it tight here.
We're not going to give each other an advantage.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't want to throw someone off. I mean, find your own stuff, figure out what it is. I don't think you need to talk about it. You know, I mean, that doesn't benefit anybody or something like that. You either know what you want to guess or not, you know, and especially if I don't think that what I have is even close to what it is, because I'm conflicted completely on this, that I'm putting stuff down because I'm just kind of like, man, I could go two ways with it. And
yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stick with initial impression, and
I always like to go with your gut. I like that mentality. Chris, are you nearby in the state? And Rough Spirits has joined us, graced
All
us
right,
with his
that's
presence.
about as good as it's going to get because I have no idea what the hell that is.
All right. Sounds like you're both ready.
Yep.
Let's run them down. Bobby, we're going to start with you.
All right. So generic category, I had rye. ABV generic, I had 90. New casking. Specific category is rye. Specific ABV kind of went down to like 86. Specific casting, new. And exact distillery, I put that it was bullet rye.
Bullet. I hate how they spell bullet.
I know.
All right. Zach?
We agreed on everything except for proofs.
Okay, so you say it's a rye?
I say it's rye. It's new oak, right? I went 43%. So I went at 86 proof.
Okay, so generic ABV proof, you're at 43%.
I'm at 43, yeah. But when we go to specific,
Okay.
I did the same thing Bobby did, except I went down. I went down as well. He went down from 45 to 43. I'm going down to a straight 40.
Okay.
I'm going down to 80 proof.
Perfect.
I think it's a rye, new oak.
Okay.
I just guessed a rye I don't like.
Will it rye? I don't know. Like, I think this is some like new distillery or something.
Yes.
It's like their first release.
It's nothing that I've had before. I can tell you that.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It's not
Well,
bad.
at
though.
least you get to try something that you
Yeah, I
haven't
never
done
said
before.
never said it was bad. It just, it's one of those weird things when you're used to being in like full flavor, full body, high proof stuff that, it's unique sometimes when you go back down and proof and different styles. And I definitely thought it could have been a couple different things, but at the end, that was the one I kept going back to.
All right.
It's that little
Moving
bit of
on.
herbalness in the back.
Yeah.
Just they kept pulling.
Well, the proof was so hard because I know it was low, but I was like, well, how low? How low is it? I mean, I couldn't figure out.
Well, I think one of us is going to nail it. I think probably pretty spot on, considering that we ran the gamut from.
I'm hoping that it's 86 because then we both will get it at least once.
Oh, then we'll at least get a little tie on it, right?
Yeah. That's fine.
Actually, would you get half a point? No, it's exactly.
No, I did an 86 and you did an 86. You did as your generic. I did it as my actual. So
you did as your specific. I got you.
Yeah. So,
Well,
stuff.
All right. Let's move on to 2.
Move on to 2.
Chris, I like that Detroit. That's hilarious. We got Marshall cheering on the fellow Texan.
What's up, Marshall? How you doing, bud? Okay.
Let's see. Boy, this chair is creaking. All right. I'm in the mood to open bottles, so.
That's the best.
I know. I rearranged a little bit, and I was able to put about 7 more bottles in yesterday. Yeah, that's definitely the problem, Martin. It's not stuck. It's just weighing it down. I hate these things.
Interesting.
It should be a total ASMR like album, like 3 hours of cork pops and first pours.
Not wrong with that.
No, I don't think so. I went with the Clynelish 14.
Kleinlish.
Kleinlish. I've heard it both ways, and I don't know. I've never tried to look up the actual pronunciation.
Listen. That's how Roy says it, and if that's how Roy says it, that's how I say it.
That is exactly what I would feel too. So I like the distillery of stuff that I've had. I've actually never had the 14 year, so I know that's like their base product.
Oh, really?
No, I've had a few different ones.
John Glazer loves to use it in his Compass Box blends.
Okay. Thank you for the phonetics, Martin. I appreciate that. Joe's Whiskey Den agrees. This is an excellent choice. I tell you, the nose is fantastic. All right, what are you guys thinking about this one?
Better than the first one.
Better than the first one. Okay.
I'm wrestling with it. Not in a bad way. Not like.
All right, I'm done.
Okay.
Bobby sped right through it. Perfect.
Okay.
Well, just made up time, and there was certain things that were, well, if it's this, it must be this. So that does not mean you're right at all. That usually means that you're completely off mark.
Spice, yeah, it would be 3 hours of cussing. Probably opening a Band-Aid package because I cut myself with a knife.
This is much easier to drink than the first one. I like this better.
Really?
I like this a lot better than the first one.
Wow.
The worst. Actually, no. The Detling was bad. I will say that Detling wax topper was bad. The one of the what one was it? I don't remember. It had purple wax on it. I think it was a Brooklyn rum finished American single malt. That wax literally took me 35 minutes to get it open. And
you know how to fix that?
Don't fucking wax the bottle.
That's how I fix it. Granted, but I can tell you an easier way to deal with that. Just torch it with your cigar lighter first. It'll melt it and make it just come apart real easy.
That's actually not a horrible idea.
I do it all the time. I used to have to do it to all the Knob Creek shit that blew up everywhere. And if you heated it, it never splattered everywhere. It just melts and pulls right off. Much easier.
All right.
No, I didn't destroy it. I opened it the way it was supposed to be opened. However, they put the pull tab in the wrong spot. Zach, go ahead. We'll run down on sample number 2.
Generic bourbon, New Oak. Looking at 90 proof. Specific, we're going to go bourbon. I think that there might actually be a finish on this. So I'm going to say new and some finished wine barrel. I'm going to stick with the proof at 90. And I'm taking a wild freaking guess. And I'm going to say backbone for the distiller.
Backbone?
Backbone for the distiller.
All right. Do you have
bourbon new 90? What's up?
Do you have something You said new and some kind of wine finish. You got more of a name on the wine?
You want me to pick the exact wine?
Well, or so like if you're thinking sherry, you don't have to tell
let's-
me exact sherry,
Okay,
just sherry works. If you're
let's say
thinking
sherry. Let's say sherry.
okay. And I don't want to put that in your head. I was just using it as an example.
Okay. I think it's finished. Some wine. I don't know.
Okay, Bobby.
All right. Generic category, I had rye. Generic proof, I had 111. Generic casting, I had new. Specific category is rye. Specific ABV is 111.4. Specific casting is new. Exact distillery is Michter's, and I had Michter's cast strength rye.
Michter's CS rye. All right. Move on to number 3.
Okay.
All right. What have I missed? Oh, Blue Chew's in the comments. I look up and see that. That sounds delicious, Sugar Kitty. See, I'm not the only one that wrecked the wax on the fireman pick. Just saying. Words to live by, Martin? No?
What? Ha ha ha! Yes.
No.
Why is that? Why is that words to live by? No.
So Martin's talking about Blue Chew, and Spicy just says, Martin, no. Blue Chew. Blue Chew, Blue Chew, Blue Chew. Not a sponsor.
Should be.
Yeah, first of all, Blue Chew should sponsor everybody. Should just be a thing.
Especially BWF.
What's the bottler on it, Sugar Kitty? That waxiness is a thing, though, man.
I'm torn on this one.
How you liking this one, guys?
It's all right.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yep.
Zach is deep in thought over here. Deep in thought. We're not getting a lot out of them, Marshall. They're keeping it pretty tight-lipped.
I think I mixed these.
Oh, that sounds good, Sugar Kitty. Cast strength or 46 or.
I love signatory.
I've had several, and yeah, they're damn good. Hey, Doug's here. How you doing, buddy? You're in Vegas and you're watching the show. You should be getting into some kind of debauchery. Okay, that's cool. 100 proof series signatory. Okay. That's cool. Oh, here we go. We got Doug is rooting for Zach. What's everybody in the chat drinking? I know we had a little bit of call outs earlier, but it's been a little bit. So are we still drinking the same things or did something change?
Okay, I'm gonna be done. And if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose.
Right. This one's weird. This one's tricky.
Yeah.
A lot of water going on. Got to hydrate to be great, guys. It's perfect.
I've had this. I know I've had this.
You think you've had this?
I know I've had this, but you have no clue. I know I've had it before because there's certain weird notes that are in there that I know that I've had before, but I've definitely had this. Or I've had it, whatever the expression is.
I got you.
It's got to be that. Yeah. I don't know about the bottle of the distillery, but I know.
Yeah.
I have an idea of what I think it could be, but it could go a couple of different ways. It's very tricky to me. Huh.
Still the first one, Spice? Come on. Perfect. Not gonna lie, that sounds like a bug zapper.
There's the bug zapper.
Okay, it is a bug zapper.
It's why it's in my freaking logo, man. It's the bug zapper.
That's what that is?
Yeah.
I mean, the logo is on point, man. That thing is awesome looking.
It's the bug zapper is the behind.
All right. I get it now. I see it.
Mosquito like standing in front of the bug zapper.
All right. I mean, was that a mosquito in there, or was that a freaking blue jay?
It's because I call them mosquito dactyls.
Oh, yeah.
Here in Texas.
Yeah.
So it's the skeeters.
I feel like you may want to retract that comment in a minute here, Spicy. Just a hunch. Japanese beetle. Crunchy M&Ms. Okay. Take your word for it.
I don't know.
All right, that's the best I got. I'm done. I call it. I can go back and forth for the next 6 hours on that.
All right, Bobby, we're going to start off with you.
Against my better judgment, I said that it's a bourbon, it's a generic. I put it at 100 ABV, generic. Generic casking new. It's specific category, I kept it at bourbon. I kept it at 100 and new, and I put it as a Jim Beam, and I put it as a bottom body.
Perfect. And Zach.
I agreed on some. I didn't on others. I think it's malt. I'm gonna guess this is a malt. New Oak 100, the same. I think it's an American single malt. I'm debating on this because there's a note at the end on both of these. I think this is New Oak, and it was finished. I don't know what in. I'm not going to say sherry. It's actually like a generic red wine or something. I'm going to go up slightly on the proof to 105, and I took a wild stab at American Single Malt Distillery, and I said Copperworks.
Copperworks. Got a bottle?
Nope.
Okay.
Whatever be finished.
Whatever be finished.
I will say though, those were three good, weird things. Like you had to sit there and dive into them a little bit. Two of them I could have went either way. I was so helpful on the first one. The first one, I thought, man, I was sold for a long time that was Irish. For a long time, I thought it was Irish.
Okay.
Because it just has that like weird front end that comes on the palate that I just hate. But
it had that herbal.
I agree. It had the rye notes that you sit there. I mean, that's why I was bouncing back and forth. And then on the last one, everything in the world told me that was not what I said it is. It did not say at all. But there was certain things that came to the forefront that I was like, I couldn't not guess it. I was like, it just didn't seem. And I was trying to pick in my head, okay, what would be this, And I was like, my initial response was Old Tub, because it tasted like Old Tub. But I was like, no way, Jeremy's giving me Old Tub 2 years in a row. If he did, he's a dirty cocksucker.
I don't select the sample, so if it happens, it happens. Walt, nice to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining. No, I prefer them freshly washed.
Yeah, nice and clean.
Okay, gentlemen, do you have a favorite sample that you share?
Probably two.
I'd say probably two.
Yours is two. Yours is two.
Yeah,
cool. We will start with sample number 2.
Perfect.
Sample number 2. Bobby, you said rye. You got a point for that. It is a rye. Zach, you said bourbon.
I did.
And that is the only point on the board for that sample.
What was the proof?
Bobby, you said 111. Zach, you said 90. The proof is 49.3% or 98.6.
So what? Generic and specific category were both right. So that should have been 1 point.
Well, specific category would have been a finished rye. Or blended rye, or finished rye.
I was looking at the specific categories up here, and I didn't realize that was okay.
I did say finished.
You did. You did say finished.
I did say finished.
But you called it a bourbon.
Yeah. But don't I get a point for casking?
No, because it's not a sherry cask. So I'm gonna run through it real quick. So generic casking.
Okay,
you both said new. You would have had to say new and used.
Gotcha.
Right? Got that? Okay.
got it.
Specific category, Bobby. You just said rye again, but we're looking for like this one blend of straight rye finished or blend of
Gotcha.
finished blend of straight rye.
Gotcha.
All good.
No, I get that.
Zach, you said bourbon on that. Proof,
Yeah.
like I said, 98.6 proof, 111.4, 90. Bobby, you said specific is new. Zach, you said new and sherry. It is actually new oak and port cask finished. Distillery, Bobby, you said Michter's cast strength rye. Zach, you said backbone with no bottle guess. It is High West. Midwinter's Nice Dram. Act 10.
As soon as you said rye and port, I was like, watch this be Midwinters. Okay.
So the exact distillery on that would have actually been MGP and then the bottle Midwinter's Night Dram.
Yeah.
So that was a Bobby win. 1-0 on that sample.
And I've had a bazillion of those. That just tasted like a straight rye to me.
And I'm glad we started with number 2 because I have to do this before we continue on. There is an actual tie. So we are going to pick between we're going to pick sample number 3 for an age guess.
Okay.
So Bobby, your age guess is
4.
Zach.
Oh, I didn't write down an age. Give me 1 second. I apologize.
No, you're good.
we tied. That's hilarious.
Too bad you didn't do the age guess on number 2 because I would have been right on that one. I had the age because I know what that is now. You told me, but you can't.
I don't know what they don't. I don't know what the age is on it because they don't say.
It says it on there.
Yeah, because it's not on the label, and I couldn't find it.
Maybe I saw it somewhere else. I thought it was on there. Oh no, you know what I'm thinking of? I don't. I'm thinking of Willet. I'm not thinking of that. I'm thinking of Willet.
Yeah, Willet.
I'm gonna say 6. I'm gonna say 6.
6 years for number 3.
6 years.
All right.
I had those wrote down just in case. So
I forgot. I apologize.
No, that's good. That's all right. It ties rarely happen. So I mean, it's happened twice, I think, in the whole thing so far.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go run through sample number 1.
Okay.
Sample number 1, Bobby, you said rye. Zach, you said rye. No points. Bobby, you said 90 proof. You were so close. Zach, you said 43% or 86 proof. Zach,
Yes.
you got a point for that. It is actually 43.5. So 87 proof. So I mean, Bobby, you're within 3 points. That's very close. Generic casking, you both said new. You get a point for that. Specific category, you both said rye again. It is actually a straight bourbon. Specific ABV, Bobby, you said 86. You came down and even closer. Zach, you said 40%. You went down to the floor. So no points there. Specific casking, you both take a point for new. Exact distillery, Bullet and Bullet Rye for Bobby and Willet Rye for Zach. It is actually Horse Soldier.
Nice.
Their entry level one. So the actual distillery would be Middle West because it is distilled in Ohio at Middle West and then bottled by.
I don't know I've actually had that bottle.
Oh,
I don't mind it. I don't like this one as much as
I don't like that one as much as the silver.
Their elevated ones are quite a bit better.
Silver label's better.
Yeah. So that was a score of 2-3.
But it gives off rye like.
It did seem very rye, but
Hey.
Oh, it's not now that you said that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
What did we just do? Sample number 2, right? No, we did sample number 2 first.
1.
We just did sample number 1. I moved my sheets around the wrong way. Okay, so moving on to sample number 3. This actual one for both of you was a tie, and the whole thing is a tie. There was no points on this one. And I'm not surprised. Bobby, you said bourbon. Zach, you said malt. It is actually a rye. Bobby, you said 100 proof. And Zach, you said 100 proof. It is actually at 45% or 90 proof. You both said new oak, and you missed the new and used. It is a finished rye. So finished rye would be the exact or specific category. Bobby, you said bourbon. Zach, you said ASM. Proof stayed the same for you, Bobby, at 100. Zach, you went up to 105, still at 90. Specific casking, it is new oak and then finished in a port barrel for.
That's crazy. I never picked port out of anything tonight. I will say that I was battling with bourbon and rye because on my specific, I had high rye listed. I was like, man, that seemed like that could be a high rye, but I just couldn't pinpoint what it could. I was like,
well, I nailed both of them that were freaking finished. So
you got the finishing on it, just
finishing.
And realistically, I mean, port is a red wine, but port. So Bobby, you said Beam, Bottle and Bond. Yeah. Zach, you said Copperworks, whatever be finished.
Yeah.
It is actually Wallersheim. And this is their Curiosity collection. So this is their experimental stuff. This is their round top rye shoved into their own port barrel for a period of time, over a year. Bobby, the mash bill on this is 66% rye, 22 corn, 12 malt.
Yeah, the corn was there. I mean, I could smell the corn because that's the only thing that kept throwing me off is I kept getting a corn note. And I could find it. But I also was like, man, there's a lot of rye in this damn thing. That's what I was battling back and forth with.
With that, on sample number 1, it was a score of 2-3 in favor of Zach. Sample number 2 was a score of 1-0 in favor of Bobby. And sample number 3 was 0-0 to make it tied up at 3. So the age guess on sample number 3, Bobby, you said 4. Zach, you said 6. The actual age of this whiskey is 6 years and 7 days.
Nice. There you go.
Zach takes her.
It's 1-1. It's 1-1. That's all.
You get to make the trip to the finals.
No, well, that's the next one. It just means I have an additional requirement, and Bobby gets to sit back and watch.
Now Bobby can chill and just watch. And come in the chat and pick on you.
I won't pick on you.
Thanks, everybody. There you go. Marshall took one down for Texas.
Man,
that's the only reason I hated that he won is a fucking Marshall and the Texas bullshit.
Dude, I'm telling you. How
much time I spend sitting there, so happy that he finds his jobs and gets better down that stuff, and then that's what he only has to say to me every time.
Yeah, I know. He's a piece of work. This guy.
He's a fucking.
And I've mentioned this. Zach. Since you are moving on, I have mentioned this in a few other shows. I don't think everyone, but the first person to take Marshall down is winning a special prize. It doesn't matter if you go all the way through or not, but if you take Marshall down, you are getting a special prize from me. So everybody, Marshall has a big giant red target on his back. It's time for him to go down. So if he does make it past the first round, if he does beat Co-op Whiskey in the first round, whoever he's going up in round 2 against, I think I may just send them the answers. That's just maybe what happens. I would definitely not do that.
No, I know.
Oh. Well, it wasn't exciting. It wasn't high fucking scoring.
No.
God damn port.
Well, they were tricky things, I mean, I think that's the thing that was interesting. They all were fine, but they were just really, really marginal thoughts. Like you could sway both ways on a few of them.
And they were very similar kind of across the board. So it was a lot of tasting like for like. And
well, I sit there and I was like, I thought about putting rye for the third one. I was like, there's no way. There's gonna be.
Well, that's why I was like, no, man. Okay, possible. Okay.
So when those 3 samples landed, I was like, ooh, I have this sneaking because I know you're a Scotch fan. single malt fan. And I know you're more of a bourbon fan. I mean, dabble in what and everything, but your preferences. I'm like, oh, this is suited a little bit more on Bobby's side here. So I don't know how this is going to go. But yeah, I mean, it's how the samples landed out of the randomizer. And
Nice.
I don't change them
Right.
on purpose. If,
Well, that's what makes it nice is that it's completely random. I mean,
yeah.
This is called a whiskey thing, not a bourbon, Scotch, Irish thing. It's whiskey.
And Zach, I wanted to say this to you earlier, but I didn't want to throw you off at all. Did you pick up the new Carchus? The 10-year cast favorites 10-year?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
Is it good?
it's really, yeah, it's
Okay.
very, very tasty. So it seems like they took the two favorite Carchuses of so far, the PX Sherry and whatever the other one was. I don't remember what the other one was, but they kind of did like a mix of both of those types.
Blended.
Yeah,
Blended something
it's
similar.
so good. Even non-peated whiskey
Very
fans
good.
were enjoying it this past weekend. So
Nice.
Well, let's celebrate with one of my favorites.
I can do that.
Little Mirador, you know.
Oh, your door, little balcony. You got any balconies, Bobby?
Sorry to rub it in, Bobby. You do got those new True Blues, though.
I have balconies, but there's not a snowball's chance in hell I'm drinking a Texas whiskey.
Oh shit!
I'll stick with Booker's.
Shots fired. What batch Mirador you got, Zach?
Oh, this one's 53. So this is 2022.
53 and a half
No.
for me. So this is 21.
Oh, it's older. What was that? 18?
21.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
21.
21-1, 113-21, 41 months.
Good stuff, man. The longer they sit open, there's just so much.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Cheers to
Cheers,
both of you
Bobby.
guys. Congratulations, Zach, but cheers to both of you. Fantastic.
But like we said, Battalion Cigars wins no matter what.
Right. Yeah,
Battalion Cigars.
Fuck off.
Yeah, so everybody go check out Battalion Cigars if you smoke cigars. If you know somebody that smokes cigars, they are excellent cigars. It's a cool little gift if you send a 5-pack their way for a birthday, Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving coming up, all of that.
Yeah.
Great cigars to get. Some cool merch. T-shirts are cool. I think you guys got hats on the side too?
Both
We don't have them on yet because we have hats. But when we got the stitching back, we didn't like the stitch work.
Okay.
So we're looking for new stitch work.
Very good. Look at that quality control at the end user. I like it.
Yeah, it's got to be right, or I don't want none of us want it to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris is probably pickier than anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
All right. So Zach,
we're 491. We are 9 followers away on Instagram. Anybody that's not following us, Battalion
We do
Cigars
have a YouTube as well. Usually the YouTube is when people invite Battalion Cigars to come to the channel.
Okay.
We go there at Battalion Cigars. That's not where we do hangouts. We do hangouts here at Bourbon Battalion.
At Bourbon Battalion.
Perfect. Zach, since you are moving on, your next show will be January 29th.
Okay, that works.
Perfect. I'm looking at the pattern here, and it looks like, we're going to go through here, and there's a couple weeks off for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, so on and so forth. So there's some good gaps in between these rounds and when you go again. So once we get through the first round, it looks to be about a month in between your last one and your next one. So
okay.
All right. So
Fantastic.
everybody in the chat, cheers. Thank you for tuning in. Bobby,
Cheers.
Zach, cheers to you guys. Congratulations, Zach. Congratulations, Bobby. All the success to Battalion Cigars. And until tomorrow with Whiskey Franco and U.S. Small Craft, cheers to this American spirit.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers to you guys.
Franco.